You are about to see mutilated corpses, burning tank carcasses, and all out mayhem, brought to you by Frontline Fatalities.
What's up, Company of Heroes fans, to episode 58 of Frontline Fatalities, brought to you by the Frontline Network, presented by me, Tommy, and my mortal enemy, FatalSaint.
I'm actually your mortal enemy. What is this?
Well, I'm
This is
sticking with
crazy.
it, man. You're gonna be my
Yeah.
mortal enemy for a long time now.
For a long time. Well, we'll have to switch up the intros so we can have a good friend status re-emerge again. But I guess
Otherwise,
I'll
our
never.
commenters get upset.
Yeah, maybe they will. Maybe they will. You never know about our viewers. Maybe they get very upset at you being a mortal enemy to me. I'm not sure why. We're back on Senwa. That's fun.
It is. I'm actually I'm in church today. I thought today we could do the whole cast from inside the Semwa church. I'll just look out the windows, and then when the church comes down, then I die and the screen goes black.
Oh yeah, and that'll be the end of the cast. If church goes down, this was a good game. No one knows what happened. As
We'll just
Tommy
fade to black with the letters GG.
That'll work. Yeah, today we have another game on Semwa, and it's actually not Vico Delight, is it, Tommy?
No, it's not. If I get out of church for 1 minute, we'll see that actually we have some flag veilings over on the Axis side today. It's actually reverse position, so this was not a match game. But it is Panzer Elite versus the US today.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup. Was quite a while ago we had PE in the rotation of our shoutcast, so that's going to be interesting to see. And also our PE player today is Demolition Jeep, aka Symbiosis, and everybody who plays or knows anything about Company of Heroes knows who that is. And he's going to be taking on Acer, which is going to be playing the Americans. You ready to go, Tommy?
I am ready.
Unpause in 3, 2, 1, unpause. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So let's see what Acer decides to do. He's going 3S, so it might be, what do we call it? Armstrong, bulletproof tactic? Bulletproof, whatever the hell.
I don't know why it got nicknamed that, to be honest, because
I
don't think Armstrong ever actually called it that. He just, I think he might have described it as being, I think he said, I find this strategy to be virtually bulletproof, I think, when he released his replay pack a few months ago, and as a result, everyone's just called it the bulletproof strategy, which sounds incredibly fucking cheesy to me, but what do I know?
What do you know? But yeah, this might entail then a 3S start where you upgrade to as many flamers as you want.
Far, actually.
Building with the second engineer 50%, and then finishing it up with the third engineer. But it entails lots of flamers, 3S, 3 flamers if possible, unless your opponent goes for, what is that? If you get not the Kettenkrad, you get the Schwim with 1 doctrine, you can actually place mines with it. And I've seen it on stream that sometimes then people that do the so-called bulletproof strats, they actually opt to go for 1 sweeper, because there will be mines like everywhere. But otherwise, you get like 3 flamers, 4 rifles, triage, sticky, in whatever order you feel like, straight to TD.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, the thing is, obviously, I speak to Armstrong quite a lot regarding COH strategies and stuff, and the thing is that a lot of people sort of think of their mind as the strategy as being all about the rush to TD, but really, besides the fast triage tech, it's really quite adaptable, and it's less about the build order and more about the overall strategy, that being to blob your troops and to just out-blob the PE player. It's really messy. And you know, it doesn't look particularly great, to be honest. And you know, if you watch Armstrong's replay back, you see everyone rages at him for being, oh my god, you're a blubber. But you know, when you're fighting PE, you just gotta laugh at the irony.
Yeah, you know, PE, especially if you start upgrading your PE troops with seal and whatnot, they actually become stronger and better the more you blob them up. So I guess
Exactly.
blobbing against a blobbing faction, that'll work. Then again, I'm not sure which one is worse,
that do
the
it,
Brits
yeah.
or the PE.
Ooh, I'd say Brits.
When it comes to
be
blobbing.
honest. Yeah, Brits definitely, because those vetted LTs.
3 LTs. Yeah.
I remember last patch it was so much worse. This patch they marginally made the issue better by making it so that you get a better effect from getting a single vet 3 LT than you do from having 3 vet 0 LTs, because that used to be like ridiculously stupid powerful last patch. You didn't need to actually do any fighting. You just bought yourself 3 LTs. It was like whoop-de-doo. Free.
I'm done.
Free ultra vet. But
super offensive wet of like grape-tastic measures, and you just like, what the hell, stupid blob your opponent to death, and there's not really much you could do about it. But I guess it's not that common nowadays. Maybe, you know, the stags are just too good to not spam. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, people kind of complain about stag spam, but generally, if you're even a semi-decent Wehrmacht player, you can end the game before stags come out, and if he does manage to get the stags, the game is still virtually over anyway, and you have no problem countering it. It's not like, at least whenever I've played, I don't think I've lost to a Brit player in, I don't know, in about a year or so. It's just, you know, the fast tier 2 just works on every map. It's incredibly overpowered versus Brits, but to be honest, you know, I just don't care. I'll abuse it anyway, because the shorter the game is versus the Brit player, in my opinion, the better.
Yeah, if the Brits are allowed to live long enough to start pumping out the stag hounds, it becomes very problematic after a while. It's just too much after a while. It just becomes so crazy because they got like crazy amounts of health, and they can build so many of them, and the MG suppresses everything that you can throw at them, and they have and then you have over repair to throw into the picture as well, and just like I can't win against this. It's not gonna work.
Total nightmare. With this little engagement here by the US players' fuel, which was actually stolen, but both sides have sort of stolen each other's fuel. The US player is going back down to cap his fuel. It's quite a nice engagement for the US player. He managed to kill off quite a few PGs there. They're pretty expensive to reinforce, but 2 more fresh PGs coming up to reinforce, so Acer, US player, is not getting any respite.
No, he seems to be doing okay, but as you said, he got his own fuel stolen, but he stole the PE fuel from Symbiosis as well. So I guess on that level, they're basically even right now in resource income, probably. And yeah, he's gotten his first flamer upgrade on one of his engineers, and he's also got the 4 rifles done. So next tech would be the triage if he wants to go for that specific tactic. Let's see what he opts in doing. What was the build order from Symbiosis?
Symbiosis, he opted to go for 4 PGs. He went for 2 Kettons. He went for a second one at some point. I think he went for 2 PGs, Ketton, and then another 2 PGs.
Yeah.
He's got 2 of them building his Tier 1 building, the logistic company, in the base, which is interesting. I don't watch a whole lot of PE games. The PE games that I do see, a lot of them tend to go for the Tier 2 first. So, interesting he's gone for Tier 1. That's going to allow him to build scout cars and things like munitions, half-tracks, and stuff like that. And check that out. Already Vet 1 on one of those rifles with 4 kills. That's going to send a bit of a shiver down Symbiosis' spine to see such early US veterancy.
Yeah, with PGs, you got to be careful so you don't give away too many kills to you know, rifles or engineers or whatever, because the veterancy starts piling on quite rapidly. And we do have stickies upgrading in the barracks right now, so I guess Acer is he's thinking there will be an AC soon. He's seen 4 PGs. I'm not sure if he's aware of the 2 Kettons. He knows there's 1, obviously, but now he should know there's 2, actually. But he's not cancelling the stickies to opt for the triage. He's got plenty of fuel, however, as he had the P fuel, even though he lost his own, and he's had other fuel on the right side of the map. So fuel-wise, he's okay. He can build whatever he wants to.
A nice flamer flank here on the PGs. He does retreat, but not before those rifles were able to stick around to force those guys off. And it looks like Acer actually beginning to expand quite aggressively. He's taken the fuel down at the bottom. He's taken the cutoff points up in the north. This is where this kind of strategy is really powerful, because you just have so much infantry compared to the PE player. You can just cap up so much, and the PE player typically doesn't have enough infantry to respond to that.
Yeah, I think he's doing good right now, and he's actually expanding out right in this moment when Symbiosis was actually building his first building choice. So, you know, he timed it fairly well by expanding just at that point where he was busy with 2 Pigrins in the base, had only 2 Pigrins on the front lines of the battle, fighting against all these rifles and the Flamer engineers. So I think he timed that fairly well, and right now he's going to own like 75% of the map.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Symbiosis can't really do anything about it.
No, he's just sitting in his base. He's actually healing up while he sits in his base. He did unlock defensive operations, and he built the tier 4 building, but is now back-teching to the tier 2. So, I don't know. I guess he's perhaps thinking, wow, you know, he's really expanding quickly. I need tier 2 with an infantry half-track to push back out or something like that. He's probably a little aware of Sticky, so maybe doesn't want to go for an AC and get sort of destroyed engine straight away and die. But it does look like Acer, whatever filthy smurf this guy is following Aimstrong's strat to the letter. He got those fast stickies, he got the triage, and now he's getting the supply yard.
Yeah, and he's got a 33 fuel income right now, as he has the fuel on the south and the fuel on the left-hand side in his possession. So he's going to be able to build a TD if he wants to go straight for tier 4 in maybe approximately 2 minutes from now. So it's a good income fuel-wise, and he's got a steady 48 income on munitions as well. He has the right-hand side munitions in his possession for the entire game, and he just popped double flamers on his 2 remaining engineers. So now he has 3 flamer NGs and the 4 rifles, 1 with veterancy as well. I'm not sure what Symbiosis needs to do to break out of this. He's done fairly okay as Acer has relocated to the south instead, to go for harassment instead of just standing around outside of the cutoff from Symbiosis. There's a sticky on a Ketten. Let's see if he gets it. Yeah, it's damaged. He's surely gonna die.
Yeah.
There it goes.
Yeah,
That's one Ketten. Small victory for Acer. It's gonna put Symbiosis back a little bit. Not terribly much. He could replace it, or he might not even need it anymore. But it's yet again, it's still a victory for the American player.
Got to be wary though of Symbiosis. I'm always, whenever I play him, I'm always very wary whenever I get some kind of map advantage against him. He's the kind of player that just doesn't get worried if he loses a lot of map, because he hasn't taken very many losses. He's got a great surplus of manpower, or at least he did until he just started building a mortar half track. And he's just
Mortar half track.
Yeah, mortar half track.
Interesting. Very interesting.
It's like an anti-blob tool.
Could be very good if you get a really nice bullseye hit with mortar half track when there's lots of rifles in the vicinity. You can easily score up to 5-6 kills in just one shell if they're very close together.
Oh yeah, I mean, people frequently tell their horror stories about how, you know, oh, the PE mortar, it seems so much more powerful than the VER mortar. Well, it's not. They're pretty much identical in most ways. But the PE mortar, just because I don't know, it's because it's so much more mobile, it's able to get so much more useful shots off. It just feels more deadly, and when it hits, you know it hits.
Yeah, and that incendiary round is very lethal as well, as especially against stationary weapons like AT guns. But as you say, it's just so mobile, so it's just a different story compared to the Wehrmacht or the US mortar, because it's so slow. You know, you gotta set up, then you gotta pack up, and then you gotta relocate, and you know, it's obviously the Wehrmacht and the US mortar are just carried around by men instead of on like treads on a chassis. So the PE mortar is just so much more speedy and can relocate and be everywhere on the map much quicker, and then they can start bombarding stationary troops or blobbed up troops anywhere. We've had a couple of, it's mainly been smaller engagements. You know, the US player has really blobbed up once or twice to force off the PE player. Symbiosis has really blobbed up his G43 Pigrans as well to force off the US player here and there. But there's not really been this massive clash where you have with VCO factions, US versus Wehrmacht, when the US comes in from like 3 different directions in the center of Semois, flanking all the MGs, just grenades and bars popping in the middle of everything. It's just not the same.
No, and I think this is down to both sides just being very careful about how they use their manpower. Symbiosis is a very good logistic player, knows exactly how much manpower he wants to spend and how much he's losing at any one time. So I think that's why, and that's what this kind of strategy really focuses on, and it's why it's not totally won the game for Acer yet. It's because as long as Symbiosis has his own troops spread up, then the US player can't make one singular blob. He has to split up as well, or face losing parts of the map.
Yeah,
And
he's going to...
I thought I saw the beginnings of a telemine in the middle there.
Oh, really? I was looking at the engagement on the south with the 2 Pigrans defending for against the fuel getting decapped against the rifle. And there's very low health on 2 men before Acer actually retreated. He tried to soft pedal away, but Symbiosis was on the top of his micro and just followed him around until he was actually forced to retreat completely off the field. But these 3 marauding flamers...
those guys coming in.
I'm just waiting for them to like find some lone Pigran, some poor soul somewhere with that very, very dodgy soldier armor, which apparently is like drenched in, I'm not sure, kerosene or something, because they just burn up like crazy. Doing some nice pushing with the
mortar half track, because he's got focus fire activated with the AT half track, so it's been sniping those. Or maybe it's not.
Maybe not. It's lucky twice, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
He pops into the building, going to, what's it called, Sunday Mass for a little while during this massive battle in the center. But with the 3 flamers there, Symbiosis is forced to retreat his Pigrans. They just can't hang around with that much flame pouring onto his troops. It's just not possible to stick around.
Yeah, it's an awful lot of firepower. His Pigrans are really helpless if those guys get into close range. We do have the tank depot has been up, nothing building out of it yet, but Symbiosis, he's kind of already ahead of the curve. He's got his AT half track out already, and he just upgraded Shreks. He finished upgrading Shreks, and there's his first Hunter Shrek Grenadier.
Sticky through the hedge, maybe? I'm not sure. I think he was trying to reposition on the mortar half track.
He was trying to. I saw him reach
into his pocket to grab that sticky grenade, but it's just not working for him. He got too close to the flak railing, but he does not actually lose the unit. The rifleman squad runs away with 1 man because Symbiosis was forced to retreat as well due to the other rifleman squad there and approaching flamers as well from Acer. But yeah, look at the map right now. Now Acer's got like tons of infantry everywhere, and he could basically cap the entire map until Symbiosis can afford to leave his base. He's gonna stick around and heal a little bit with some of his Pigrans, but not that much. He knows, Symbiosis knows, you know, I just can't give the map away this easily. I have to fight for it at least a little bit.
I'm currently watching one of the more sad things about the PE faction is that Symbiosis, he's got roughly 1,000 manpower in the bank right now, and he just has nothing to spend it on.
That's problematic.
Both PE and Brit suffer from this. You can often find yourself with this massive surplus of manpower and have nothing to spend it on, which is really weird, because if you're playing with Vico factions, you've always got something to spend your manpower on. If you're not spending manpower, then you better be floating for some big tank, otherwise everyone who's watching your game just be like, noob! Noob!
Stop floating!
Exactly.
Stop floating.
But with PE, it's like, well, you know, I can't really buy more P-Grens because they're expensive to reinforce, and there's no point getting them, and there's a mine there, and those P-Grens are going to hit it, and then it's going to be a big explosion, and there was a big explosion.
Only 1 casualty, however.
Yeah, it suppressed them all, but no big damage.
But so he has, in the form of AT, he has 1 Shrek and the AT half track now. The Sherman just hit the field from Acer, and he's just waiting for more fuel. He OP'd his own fuel quite a long time ago. After he got back onto the field and nabbed most of the map, he just OP'd that fuel, because he has plenty of manpower in spare as well. Probably because these major engagements never really happen. You know, either Symbiosis retreats, because there's just way too much for him to handle, like 3 flamers and like approaching him. Or Acer retreats because there's too many P-grams with G43 is focus firing 1 silly squad. So, you know, I think both players are just floating a lot now because there's not really anything else to build.
There's nothing dying. Yeah, I mean, Symbiosis, he's got 1,300 manpower now. It's just taking
a lot of manpower.
It is a lot of manpower. I sort of am wondering whether now is just the long, slow wait till Panthers or something like that, because he's got his Shrek, he's got his AT half track, he's got 2 Shreks in fact, which is enough combined with Dreadbreak to take on a Sherman. Keep it at bay at least. I mean, the Sherman's going to have some impact, but he's going to have to play it fairly passively with it.
Armor just chosen, and the 2nd Sherman is queued up in the tank depot from Acer. So it's going to have double Shermans with field repairs because it's got almost 300 munitions in the bank, so he can pop that baby twice as well. He just needs to wait for the cooldown in between the 2 uses. But this could be potentially extremely bad for Symbiosis if he doesn't get at least 1 more form of AT. 1 AT half track and 1 Shrek, is that still it? Nothing else?
Two Shreks and one AT half track.
2 Shreks, maybe, but still against 2 Shermans, they're very durable tanks.
Against
very,
2 Shermans,
very
yeah,
good.
I wouldn't fancy it, but against a single one, he should be okay. It depends. Acer is making his move now. His infantry goes
Shermans,
in.
all the infantry.
Retreat. Big retreat. The Sherman's coming to follow up now.
But I think that's the best choice Symbiosis has in that position. There's just no point in standing around trying to get some miracle shot off with his light AT half track and then polishing it off with the Shreks when there's like flamers and rifles everywhere. They're just gonna demolish those tank hunters.
Yeah, he's just playing it safe right now and using that mortar half track just to sort of pick away. Only 1 kill though so far on the mortar half track. So
1 kill.
He it hasn't really paid off for him so far.
No.
But wow, I mean, look at Ace's map control. Even for a man like Symbiosis, who is never scared of a loss of map control, would probably be getting a little bit concerned at this point. Especially if you look at the VPs, down to 239 VP is very low.
Symbiosis needs to move out. He needs to gamble now. He needs to do this massive attack now, or it's just gonna like
check this out. This
fall out of his hands.
4-man squads.
Oh yeah, there is 4-man squads. I never notice when the PE player upgrades that.
Oh, check out these
one of the
2
flamers
Shermans.
is doing focus fire.
Oh, he just about
like
managed to get the immobilization.
Wow, very close.
That's a
But
very
Symbiosis
nice
is
attack.
forced retreat.
Oh, check that out. Field repairs. He's going to repair the trip.
Oh, he gets the trip back.
instantly.
And here comes the base rush from Acer. Is this the end for Symbiosis, one of the greatest players in Company of Heroes? Is this really the end?
I don't think so, because it's Hetzer to the rescue. I don't know how much that Hetzer's going to do.
Well, that mortar half track is toast, that's for sure at least. And he actually crushes the wreck as well with his Sherman. Probably not deliberately, but he still crushed it. So if Symbiosis manages to go for like a birch tire or something, he can't resurrect that mortar half track. He's going to be forced to rebuild it. I'm not even sure if he's going to opt to rebuild that mortar half track, because as we said before, he was kind of useless.
Sherman's having a bit of path of trouble trying to get back out of Symbiosis' base. I guess he didn't want to stick around there with 2 Shreks coming to follow up fairly shortly, but Symbiosis needs to make a big move sooner rather than later. I mean, he's playing very ballsy with this Hetzer.
He's just completely...
Oh, check that out. The upgun just checked. The upgun just came in.
I saw the upgrade just before. As he saw that Hetzer, he started upgrading the upgun on the Shermans because he needed it. And there's another field repair now. Might save this very damaged Sherman. Might not, however.
Oh, here comes the second Sherman. I think Symbiosis needs to back out. Wow, field repairs is just about keeping him in right now. That was a really nicely timed use of field repairs.
Second
Hetzer. If he can
Hetzer.
escape. Oh wow, 2 Hetzers.
2 Hetzers.
That's what he was saving for. That's why he was floating 1300 manpower.
This is very good for Symbiosis right now. There's basically no infantry support. There's just under-strength rifles coming onto the field now for some reason. Pure desperation from Acer here. I don't think anybody suspected that there would be 2 Hetzers on the field just suddenly. Suddenly Hetzers everywhere.
If he can just get those 2 Shermans out of there with their lives, but no, he's taken a wrong turn.
Yeah, he's gonna get stuck now.
Oh wow, the Shrek's
But he
retreated.
retreated?
Wow. I guess he must have been afraid of flanking rifles, or maybe the fact they were so low health. I don't know. That was almost too cautious, really. But one of those Shermans slowly limping away. Both Shermans are so low health. Those rifles are actually, it was quite good for him to bring them out, even though they were low health, because a sticky is all he needs to slow them down sufficiently to allow those Shermans to get away, and actually both of them are going to escape with their lives and start getting repaired again. And I see something else is building at a tank depot now.
An M10 is queued up in the tank depot, building extremely rapidly due to the armor doctrine choice from Acer. And he's actually rebuilt one of his engineers as he lost one of the flamers in that massive engagement there when he charged with his 2 Shermans, combined with the rest of his infantry also. But now he has 3 tanks against these 2 Hetzers, but he has 2 Shreks on his side still, which is good. He's going to start repairing up his Hetzers, which needs quite a bit of repair actually.
And yeah, both these Shermans need quite a bit of help from these engineers, but finally the VP train was stopped and reversed by Symbiosis at 130, so I don't know how chilled out he's feeling at this point with such low VPs, but the pressure is finally off for a little bit while all these 3 tanks get repaired. Don't know about the choice of the M10 personally against, 2 Hetzers and now 2 Shreks as well. I mean, those two headsers, you can't underestimate them. They've just popped out of nowhere. It requires a different tech choice, really. It requires AT guns.
Yeah,
But,
you think a back tech would be the safer choice, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the M10 is going to run in there and get insta-killed. That is
Yeah,
my
pretty much.
prediction.
Especially against Shreks, because he needs to get the circle strafing in effect on the headsers to be, the most efficient with his M10. And if you go too close to the headsers to go to circle strafe when they have Shrek back up, the M10 just melts, basically. There's just no way against Shreks.
Wow, these G43s are just sick. Rifle squad moved in, he was like, oh no, shit shouldn't go here, but by the time that they managed to back out again, they got down to 60% health, lost a man. And in the middle here, we have a telemine laid by Symbiosis, just in front of that VP there, in a very good position, so when the M10 comes rolling over, it might instantly explode, which is always hilarious. And he's got a forward reinforcement point just behind there, so no need for those really quick retreats anymore.
No, that's very, very good. US players still floating a lot of manpower. The main issue now, even with the OP'd fuel, is still fuel. He just spent 60 fuel to get bars on his rifles, even though, yeah, he could have bought another tank destroyer, maybe. I'm not sure which one would be better, because the bars will, enhance his capability of chasing off the Shreks if he does a combined attack with his tanks and infantry.
Well, the thing about bars is they have such huge damage nerfs. They got 0.4 damage. They do 40% damage against soldier armor.
Yeah,
and
they're not
I think
that
they have
great.
Something like 60% accuracy. They have really big nerfs, and they're only really useful if your opponents. They can be useful if your opponent's got a lot of ACs because they do quite good damage to them. They do quite good damage to
infantry half tracks.
Half tracks, yeah. But really, bars, just period, are not very good against PE. So it's a questionable choice.
Over HQ in the church? Oh, Symbiosis, you dog. Oh, that's a nice mortar hit. That's exactly what the doctor ordered for Symbiosis. He needed that mortar hit. Let's see if another one falls. No, it's not going to be. It wasn't a barrage. Just one stray shell. Nice G43 slow. There's the grenades. I did not see those get ticked.
And lots of nice sniping by those Shermans.
And the headsers now coming in to combat these two Shermans. Doing some very nice damage to the Vet 1 Sherman with the Top Gunner. And with the Shreks and the healing and everything, he's going to be able to force off the American player from the center. Here comes the M10 as well against these two headsers. One of them getting penetrated on the frontal armor by both the Sherman and the M10. M10 is not going in for the circle strafe, he's just parking right in front of the two headsers, but with field repairs, the two headsers are not enough to kill this M10 fast enough. Main gun destroyed.
Wow, Telemine hit by the Sherman there.
Ah, nice.
Took it down very, very low.
Still keeping him alive. One more shot's gonna bounce from the headser. There it goes. Vet 1 Sherman finally down for Acer. And this M10 is gonna get out of control as well. Two tanks down. Very good win for Symbiosis right there. He might actually get lucky. Nope, no, another Shrek hit on that Sherman. Could have dealt a damage engine to it if he was extremely lucky with the crits. Here comes the headser in hot pursuit, but he decides to maybe cancel that.
He says
like,
as it rolls slowly over the gravestones.
He was like top speed there from the road bonus, and then he was like full brake.
A man got stuck in the treads. A rifleman
somewhere.
got ground
it's
up.
like one of the tombstones or something.
You know what? I want to see some. I want to see some cloaking action from these headsers.
Yeah, cloaking is pretty cool. You know, sure, we'll just hide this giant gun.
We'll just hide this giant tank. I mean,
he actually killed the Sherman corpse with the headsers. You saw that?
He did, I guess.
For the XP.
For the XP, yeah, I guess it must be. One of the headsers got one star of defensive vet. He's laying on the offensive veterancy on his G43s. Always the correct thing to do on G43s, because obviously they fire from range, so you don't need the defensive veterancy. And now Symbiosis making his push into the base.
Hetzer push.
Oh, he's going after the Sherman. He's going after the wounded Sherman.
Oh, nice. And he sees them with
insane range and accuracy.
Yeah, super range on the Sherman can't even retaliate. Wow, nice penetrations. Is that from tank destroyers?
It could be the ACPR rounds. It could be that indeed. It could indeed be that they reduce your splash damage versus infantry.
WC was cancelled for some reason, or self-destroyed. I couldn't see if they actually finished it.
That looked almost like a self-destruction, but
not sure why. I'm not sure why. We do have another M10 sitting around in the base, but I guess Acer does not fancy his chances against 2 Hetzers with only 1 Sherman and an M10. Now the Shreks are destroying the OP on the fuel as well. Acer really needs that if he wants to keep producing vehicles and tanks from his tank depot. Nice flank from the bar rifles, gets the sticky off on one of the Hetzers, but it's not even remotely low health enough to do anything except for giving the damage engine for a while.
Sherman, meanwhile, very quick retreat there. Very nice retreat from Symbiosis. He destroyed the OP, then got the fuck out of dodge, losing just the 1 man there. It's these super early retreats from Symbiosis. I mean, from both players to a certain extent, but I say that it's Symbiosis who's really winning the logistics wars, the manpower war. I think PE players should look at this shoutcast for sort of how to counter this strategy, because he seems to have found a way to do it. It seems, because even though we were confused by his floating manpower, it's obvious that it was always his intention to get double Hetzers. That's why he was floating 1400 manpower.
Yeah, he knew that TD was gonna come. He saw 3 engineers with flamers, all of them. He saw the 4 rifles, and he saw no teching from the rifles except for when he threw that 1 sticky on one of the Kettans in the south. And then he saw nothing. No snipers, no nothing at all. No AT guns, no M8 rush, nothing at all. And he knew, yeah, it's the bulletproof strat. It's gonna be a TD, so I'm gonna need some AT. So he got the light AT half-track as insurance, you know, in case the US player like tried to double bluff him and go for the motor pool and the M8s. You know, he needed something. So he got the light AT half-track, which is still good, as we saw against the Sherman. Without the crew repairs, it would have been killed by the Shreks because it got immobilized by the tread brake. And then he got 2 Shreks, you know, just to tide him over until he got enough CPs to unlock Hetzers, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I know that there were so many PE players who on the strategy forum saying, "How do I beat it? How do I beat it?" Because a lot of good PE players were taken down by it, and I think Symbiosis, he really seems to have found a way. He's really designed a strategy that is totally in keeping with his style that he explained to us on Expert Insight, and that we've seen him demonstrate to us so often in you know, tournament games and SNF games as well. So
just being conservative, really.
Yeah, being
don't like feed the American lots of vet in the early game. Maybe it's better to do the early retreat, have a little bit less territory, but obviously, you know, you gotta play very, very well in the mid game, because otherwise you just get drained of VPs if you just sit in your base for the entire game and retreat every, you know, the instant you get into engagement that you're outnumbered in, and just retreat and retreat and retreat and retreat, and just keep on doing that the entire game. Eventually you just have 0 VPs and your opponent has 500, and he'll just be laughing all the way to the bank.
I mean, he did.
So you gotta have to
wait a long time, but yeah. But then when he did eventually, you know, decide that it was the time, then he played incredibly aggressively, and it really worked out very, very well. He was never really in any danger, and now I wouldn't go as far to say it was a checkmate position, but it's very, very difficult. I mean, the back tech from the WSC, it's necessary, but also at the same time, it's putting him further behind in what he needs, which is AT. He needs something to counter the Hetzers, and more M10s and Shermans are just not going to cut it. You know, upgun Shermans are all well and good, but you know, even with field repairs, I'm not sure I fancy their chances against Shreks. And the thing is that making M10 trains is not as viable versus PE as it is versus Wehrmacht, because you have a very, very big danger of, if it goes wrong, or even if it goes right, and you lose the first sort of 3 or so M10s, you're now facing triple vet Shreks that are reloading like fucking Grenadiers on Inspired Assault and Seal and Crack. So
crazy reload.
And I think this is the big push now. With
field repairs, everything. He's gonna charge into the 2 Hetzers and all of these G43s. The 2 Shrek squads are actually caught out of position. So they're not gonna be able to get into the fight at all, maybe. One of them forced retreat to the 2 Flamers.
Maybe I spoke
one
too
of the
soon.
Shermans.
Maybe I spoke too soon here.
Oh, that Hetzer is so low health, and M10 actually misses. Not getting the killing shot, but there's only 1 Shrek on the field and 1 Hetzer without a main gun. And there's 2 M10s and the possibility of another.
Oh,
wow.
I think the whole squad went down there. The whole PE squad.
Is that a Bet 3 Sherman? Oh my god, that is a Bet 3 Sherman. He dropped a Shrek as well. This might be very, very bad for Symbiosis.
This could be a huge turnabout point if he can get that Shrek with the rifle squad there.
Yeah, shoot at it with the sniper. Throw everything you got on that Hetzer. There's crew repairs again, pops. It's immobilized, but the main gun destroyed.
Oh wow, he's using field repairs to get his destroyed engine M10 back. He's going to use it to squish these infantry.
Should have gone after the mortar halfback. Even though it's not that lethal in this game, they can be an extreme nuisance. So, but
where
now
did double
Symbiosis
snipers come from?
Yeah, he went WSC, built one sniper, didn't really do anything with it, built a second one, because he had so much manpower. He had no fuel to keep building tanks. He could build like an M10 now and then, but apart from that, not much, as his OP got destroyed.
And suddenly, there's now US with a Shrek. It's another huge turnaround. And a Vet 3 Sherman to boot.
Yeah, I want to see this Vet 3 Sherman just demolish everything now. Oh, focus the low man squad! Symbiosis retreats after getting 2 hits, one on the M10 and one on the Sherman with the Shreks.
Ooh,
but
you want to know something dangerous? Panthers are almost here. We have 1,000 manpower floating for Symbiosis. He is currently upgrading the upgrade necessary in order to bring those Panthers onto the field, and when he does, there's not an awful lot to stop them, but of course he would have been in a much better position had he not lost that Shrek, because of course he went to double Shrek, he got the double Shrek upgrade, which meant that when he went down to 1 man on that Shrek squad, he dropped a Panther Shrek.
Yeah, he did drop a Shrek. I'm not sure which squad actually picked it up. Ah, there it is. Yeah, the 2-man squad with the first church.
The Panthers are on the field. I hope that Vet 3 Sherman hears them and gets the fuck out of dodge. Oh, no.
It's not. It's gonna be too late.
No, he needs to reverse around that building.
I'm not sure if he can even hide against 2 Panthers. It's just too much.
He's doing a valiant job. He needs to keep on going though. And where's that Shrek? Oh no, I think the Shrek
is a 2-man squad.
Yeah, it's disappeared through the bars. But he's afraid of the stickies though, and oh my god!
Nice.
Look at that
That was
Tellermine.
a nice Tellermine. And
he
has no more munitions, and both of the M10s goes down. What killed the second one? I guess they took out one each, the Panthers.
Yeah, the Tellermine destroyed the engine on both of them at the same time.
Yeah, they had a sliver of health as well also. Tellermines are like seriously lethal against M10s. You know, M8s die instantly, mostly. M10s can die instantly as well, I think.
They can, yeah.
It always gives a crit.
It will either kill them outright or do enough damage that you can just, you can tickle them and they'll go down afterwards.
T43 vet 3 offensive vets.
Probably, yeah.
Probably kill them on rear armor.
Well, triple offensive vet G43s are a viable M8 counter. Not just like, they penetrate them occasionally, like an MG42, but they are a viable counter. You can shoot them and it will penetrate. It's really funny to watch.
That's fairly awesome. Well, Acer is looking still okay. He's got the 2 snipers now, which is going to be good against these Shreks. But the problem is the 2 Panthers now. I think this is just too much. As we said before, I don't think just M10s is going to cut it anymore.
If he can wipe out the
really
support,
not going to cut it.
If he can take out the infantry support with the snipers, then he can probably just win through VPs. Because the Panthers are sort of always going to be afraid of stickies. And those snipers can just keep on going to work without any real fear, besides, of course, the mortar half drag. So, I don't know. I wouldn't say Ace is out of it yet, and he does still have his Vet 3 Sherman, but I hope he's building some more AT.
Let's see. He's building another M10.
Oh, wow. The Shrek.
His own choice.
The Shrek.
Oh, there's the Shrek rifle. Gonna try to get a
ton of damage to one of those Panthers there.
Is that one of those the dodgy things where they do like tremendous amounts of damage? They have like damage multipliers against... I can't exactly remember what it was. But I remember slightly in some mods that things like... What was that? Panther frontal armor against Panther main guns or something was like seriously dodgy. I can't exactly remember. Yeah, something strange.
No, the church was reinforced.
It's still forward HQ. Did Acer actually manage to decap?
He did manage to decap it, and it was just remade by Symbiosis, who is now finally starting to spend all of his manpower because he's got all his super weapons. He got his super Hetzers and he got his super Panthers. Sad to see that both Hetzers died though, because those things can be beastly with defensive veterancy. Triple defensive vet Hetzers, it's like, the armor on those things is pretty much better than anything else in the game besides the Ag Panther when it comes to fighting Shermans and things.
We have 4.5 CPs from Acer right now. Everybody knows what that means. When you have the field repairs unlocked, it's half a CP away from the Pershing, as he has not unlocked the Calliope. I don't think he's gonna do it either. He's just gonna wait for that half CP. So he needs to engage a little bit, get a few kills here and there, get that half CP in the bank, unlock the Pershing, and then just go AWM or field repairs or something and just charge these Panthers.
Oh wow, one of the snipers actually got revealed there. I think he's trying to find him.
Squish, crush, the sniper.
The scrush.
The scrush. It's when Panthers squish snipers. It's a scrush.
Symbiosis actually playing quite intelligently though here. He's hiding his P-Grans well away from the fighting.
Hiding from the snipers.
Which, they just shot at the unmanned
but there were no one in the church.
Yeah, he just shot at the church because it's fun to shoot at inanimate objects.
I'm not exactly sure what happened there. It couldn't be an attack move either, because then they wouldn't shoot at the church. So I guess
if you do attack move and then do the building, then.
Yeah, maybe then attack. We have a third sniper constructed, as Acer is floating a lot of manpower, so he needs to spend it on something. And pop-wise, he's okay right now. He was actually pop-capped a little while after Symbiosis capped the majority of the map. But right now he's doing fairly good, so he can start producing a few things. And what he's opting to do is get another M10, get some engineers,
sniper. There's 3
and
snipers.
a third sniper.
That is that's a death squad. You know, I ever saw one. Triple snipers now.
Goes the Panthers,
full-man squads.
Yeah, otherwise we would lose an entire Pigman squad in every volley.
The Shrek didn't penetrate. That's all he needed. And he retreated now as well, but here comes another M10. I think we're going to be in for some big tank wars here. I just have this horrible feeling that...
Vampire half-track.
A vampire half-track?
Yeah, it's hiding.
Oh,
there's a Goliath hiding as well by the VP. Oh, I can see the potential for this Goliath when the VPs, he starts getting desperate for the VPs or something. He's just going to go for it with like all his infantry as backup, and then everything blows up. Oh,
both sides.
For this piece. Look at those guys on the left-hand side.
Jesus. Yeah, you just see the health bar. It's just like.
Wow, even on retreat and everything. Even on retreat, they just.
Oh no! One of the mines that Acer was laying got detonated, and he was using it to prepare for the Panther rush, which is now coming in.
And then, look at the American cavalry. It's just running away from these 2 German panzers. Panzer. You don't mess with those guys.
No, you do not.
He's just waiting. He's seriously just waiting for that Pershing before he commits to any massive attack. Or the Ketan actually goes to snipers.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy,
see if
this should not be good.
He's gonna push them around a little bit.
This will not be
all
good.
The sniper retreats. He's not gonna be able to squish them. Might be able to get one on a snipe with the Panthers on retreat. No. Maybe a Shrek snipe. Come on, unleash the Shreks. Nope.
Wow, one of them got very low, but actually he's going to escape with all 3. But,
yeah, I think the Moses reckoned that he should have gotten at least one of them there.
Yeah, you would have thought so. I mean, in all the times that we've seen Panthers snipe snipers, you would have thought that we'd see it here, but evidently
I'm not exactly sure what happened, but Acer decided to go for Calliopes. He unlocked Calliopes now. Why? Why would you do that? I don't understand.
I don't get that either. The Pershing with field repairs plus all that cavalry might have been, pretty useful. But check that out, more telemine laying from Symbiosis, really nice to see. So that even when he is eventually forced back, which he probably will be, as he's afraid of the Shrek and the Stickies and the M10 train, the first tank that rolls out there is going to run straight into a nasty telemine. But of course there is also a minesweeper squad there, so depends whether the minesweepers go ahead of the tanks or not.
Oh, I don't know. They're following the tanks, but they might not light it up. But he's actually taking an alternate route, and there he finds the teller mine. At the same time, we have G43s in the north against 2 barbed rifles. One of them, seriously melts. God. 2 of them melts. Both squads down.
Oh, here comes the tank rush, though, in the middle with Allied War Machine this time. He wasn't expecting that. He was expecting field repairs. Down goes one M10. Down goes a whole Shrek squad to the triple snipers.
Goliath uncloaked. I'm not sure what he's going for. Damage engineer.
Oh my god, he's going for all 3 snipers.
Oh no, he's not going to get him. And it explodes harmlessly. Was that a Vet 3 Sherman that went down? I think so. I think the Med 3 Sherman is toast. He's got then 2 M10 back. One of the Panthers are fairly damaged as well. If he gets a long-range Shrek snipe on the rear armor, no, he's not going to get it. And he bounces on the frontal armor on the other Panther. So 1 Sherman down, but at the same time the snipers took out an entire double Shrek squad?
They did take out an entire double Shrek squad indeed. I don't think Acer picked up that Shrek though. I think it went back into
hands, maybe.
Max's hands, yeah. But wow, look at those oh my god. Those guys are just sick.
Did he just kill 2 engineers on retreat? I think so.
Yes, I also think so. I think they've actually picked up a bar. This is another reason why bars are really bad against PE, because they do a heck of a lot more damage if the player picks them up and uses them against you than the other way around.
That's true. Another glide produced from the Vampire Hat track. This time he's going for the snipers again. At the same time, the 2 M10.
You look at those tanks there. I'll check out the Goliath. Oh my god, he's going for. Oh my god, he's going for the triple snipers. Oh my god. All 3 snipers are toast.
And Acer calls this as he loses the second M10 in the center of Semois, and it goes down to the Panthers, which are now one of them double defensive bit. Acer got a little bit confused. I can really understand that. It's like, I guess he got some form of combat fatigue there in the end.
Yeah. I mean, wow. I mean, he needed just a back tech, I think, there, because although I don't know actually.
Why not the Pershing?
Yeah, I don't get that either. It seems that
especially
seems like a
with
strange choice.
AWM, if he led the charge with the Pershing, so it died first, taking most damage. At least hope to be the one, and he would have gotten a free one as well, and then just keep on pushing.
Yeah.
Because even without the Pershing, one of the Panthers were almost dead. It's very low health, and one of the Panthers were approximately half health, 50% or so, with a Pershing in the mix there.
And the Pershing would have rolled out with the upgun as well, with the anti-tank upgun, which is really good against Panthers.
Very good against Panthers, yeah.
That's what it's designed for, really. It's designed to basically level the playing field, because an ordinary Pershing versus a Panther is pretty even, but HVAP Pershing versus a Panther, then it's a whole new story. The Pershing is going to win 80-90% of the time.
Yeah, it's still going to deflect the Panther main gun, the Pershing, and the HVAP is going to help him to penetrate the frontal armor of the Panther itself. So the Pershing is going to win, as you say, most of the time. So, an HVAP Pershing for me was the best choice. I'm not sure why he just opted to go for a Calliope all of a sudden. It might have been something to do with PopCap, because at the same time, during all of these engagements and all the fighting, there's been this annoying kitten running around all over the field, constantly capping the right-hand side of the map, and then going away, and then Acer has reclaimed it after pushing out of his base, and then the kitten comes back and decapitated it again. So Acer was having PopCap issues the entire mid-late game, because over an extended point of time when he was forced to retreat, he lost all of the map to that silly kitten. While Symbiosis,
being annoying.
they're very, very good for map harassment, extremely good. So it might have been something to do with that, when he wanted to call in the Pershing was one of those times where he had retreated and he'd lost too much of the map. I wasn't paying specific attention to what his PopCap situation was looking like right then. So maybe then he realized that, even if I unlock the Pershing now, I can't purchase this anyway, so I'll just go for the Calliope or whatever.
It was really great, nice, methodical PE play, though, there by Symbiosis, against a really tough strategy to beat as well. This is like the equivalent of the quick tier 2 against Brits. It's incredibly difficult to beat. And, two evenly matched players, you'd normally expect the US player to win. But Acer, despite a great early game, was eventually outmatched by the surprise Hetzers and surprise Panthers. I mean, there's no other faction that can suddenly spring 2 of the most heavily armored tanks in the game on you just like that. The closest thing I can think of is the Churchill. And the Churchill's a piece of shit.
It's a slow, massive tin can of crap. It's so useless. The main gun can't even penetrate the soldier armor of a Pigren, for fuck's sake.
I know, it's
ridiculously
ridiculous.
bad.
The only good Churchill is...
Well,
the
AVRE
AVRE is quite good fun, but the Croc is...
The Croc flame against PE is good. PE infantry just melts to flames. So
that's true.
That's okay.
But Svet 2 Gren blobs, I've seen Churchills do some nasty stuff.
Oh yeah, heroic armory also increases the damage you take from flames. So I guess maybe then it's okay as well. But apart from that, they're so slow, sluggish, and the model is so huge that you'll hit it like it's like hitting a fucking barn. Seriously, it's so massive you can't miss it.
Yeah, Shreks never miss.
Nah, pretty much not. Very good game, nicely played from both players. I think Symbiosis really showed how to play conservative PE, just as he has shown us over and over again how to play conservative US. You know, it works. You just gotta have a game plan in mind, and be able to break out of that passiveness. Because if you just keep being passive the entire game, you're just gonna lose. You need to do something. Yeah, you need to produce.
You gotta
something.
go up a gear eventually.
Yeah,
He's
eventually you
very
have
good
to
about spotting when to do it.
Yeah, I think he had some nice timing. And I think Acer kind of fell. His early game was very good and aggressive. But his mid game, I think he needed to be a little bit more aggressive, but he wasn't. There was some, downtime there in the mid game before all the tank play started happening. I was looking at it and I felt like there's not enough stuff happening. He should push a little bit more, but he didn't. I think that what kind of enabled Symbiosis to then, like, after that massive tank rush, just before the Hetzers came. If he had closed maybe the gap and gotten most of the map before that, maybe that would have forced Symbiosis to do something else, and maybe this whole situation would never have happened.
Maybe.
Thanks, guys, for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and comment and like this video, and we'll see you guys next episode.
See you guys.